Mic test, testing the mic. Mic test, mic test. Miking test, testing mic, mic test. Sibilance, 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 sibilance. Something, something, Mr. Mic Test. Latency test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 4 seconds on it, not too bad. Let's do this thing. Oh, babada beep boop beep bop boop bap boop ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Suppose I can turn this music off. Well, howdy folks. Welcome to a special insomnia session. Something I haven't done here on the channel for a long time, but tonight I really just can't kick it on over to sleepy time. So thought I might pop in here and do a late night stream and toss it in there, see if the algorithm pushes it to anyone. Let it serve as a VOD for any of y'all catching this the next day or today, and get a little work done. We're going to be digging back in on this FLE14 flea that I've been working on a little bit at a time. It's been a ton of fun to sculpt on so far, but I've been looking for this ultralight version of the flea for some time now. As far as I can tell, nobody's done one. There are plenty of flea sculpts out there, but nobody has taken Mr. Plog's artwork and transmuted it into something physical, something we could print out. And for those of you who don't know, I've been working on this a little bit at a time, sometimes by myself late at night, sometimes hanging out in the Country Fried Minis Discord, link in the description down below, where we hang out and voice chat and chat it up while sculpting some things. I was working tonight with Mr. Mako Helios and another Nate and Mr. Voxel Forge to pick up some tips and learn a few tricks as we slide around vertices, trying to make this thing into a thing. So without further ado, we're going to dig in tonight and get a little work done. Take about an hour here and see where we can't get this thing up to. And in fact, let's go ahead and pop on that 1 hour timer. Boom, right up there. And we're going to get started on this thing. And I think what I'll do tonight is, since I'm doing this as a live stream, I'm just going to air out my thoughts as I take on this process. So, where we were at for the last one, we built this little section right under the CT, detailed it out, put some panel lines in it, made this little bippy-doo right in the middle, and we started working on the pelvis piece right here. And I think that's where we're going to dive right back in. Maybe even starting on the hips. The side torsos here need a little bit of work. Everything needs to be unified, of course. And we have some gaps in here between the torso and those side torsos. So maybe we ought to start with that. So let's hide this CT bit and see what we can't do with this thing here. We're going to pop on over to edit mode and take a peek at what our vertices look like. And I think the intention here is to maybe slide out something right here. Yeah. So, I think to do that, what we want to do, let's go ahead and pop it into transparent view. I think the idea is we're going to take these two faces right here. That's not working. Let's come out of X-ray view. We want these two faces right here, and we're going to go ahead and inset those by hitting I. And then take a peek again at our CT. I think we want to slide this thing down like so. And actually, I've changed my mind here. Let's back that up. I think what we're actually going to do is, since we're going to join all this stuff together later anyways, I think we're just going to add in a simple cube to fill up some space. We're just going to stick it inside here and get it going. So let's pop in here and get this thing situated right in the middle. And this is just gonna, you know, make what we were doing a little easier by just filling that space in a really perfunctory fashion. In fact, we can maybe even stylize this a little bit. I think with some simple bevels or something. So let's take a peek there, what that's looking like. The thing is, I want this gap to be there, but I don't really want it to be problematic for printing. So I think that's where we're going to start here. Let's go ahead and get this in a good position. Grow it out a bit. That looks it's creating some problems there, so we could shrink it down to where it's inside the walls here and just get it in position. Let's slide it back some. We're gonna fill that little gap inside there, right? So when we print, we're not gonna have any problems. And this may be an issue, right? So let's bring that in a little more and slide it back. Basically, I just want to bridge a connection between here and there, mostly on the back. And I think that's gonna work. I think we could maybe grow it till it lines up with this edge right here. And I think that's what we're gonna try to do. All right. And then let's even slide that up like so. And I think from here what we can do is just manually adjust this in edit mode. Grab our back face and slide that inwards till it disappears like so. And then see what we can't do over here. It looks decently lined up to me. Let's maybe push that in a little bit there. We'll have a little bit of a gap, but basically we're just going to fill that space so it prints out nicely. Okay, so from there let's move on. At Surveillance Wizard 5555, as I get up to go to work, EST, it's nice to see you working from playing all that MWO last night. I did a bunch of juggling, to be fair. The MWO in between rounds, chatting with folks in the Discord. I've been working a little bit on sculpting, been working a little bit on prepping some 3D prints, and I've been putting a little work on the Black Knight as well. Black Knight we're aiming to get it done at the end of the month here. I'm hung up on the base, so that's kind of where we're at. It's got to get painted up, and then we're going to have to edit that down. I've got some MWO footage for the Solaris tourism board, and we're aiming to have that out by the end of the month. And then from there, the intention is to pull double duty for a few months and try to get up to 12 videos this year. But tonight, I'm suffering from some hellacious insomnia. So we're digging in, and we're putting in another hour on this happy little locust here while I lull myself into ready to sleepingness. So now that we've got that filler inside here, I think we can maybe move on to the... We could do the arms, maybe. I think we can maybe do the arms next. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's add a cube, and we're going to give our cube a mirror modifier on the x-axis. Let's go into edit mode. And once we're in edit mode, we can get it shifted into position. And as we can see by our reference image right here, the arm is going to be just kind of this little blade of armor. And that's really the only purpose it's going to serve in this design, as the FLE14 only has the single torso mounted medium laser. So I think the idea is we will get this mounted with kind of like a little peg, and we'll start with the square one and bevel it off as we get there. But let's begin with this thing kind of buried into the side, and it should be the same on both ends. Yeah. And now what we'll do is, once it's in position right about the center, we're going to grab this and we're going to E to extrude, and then we will take all these sides here, and we're going to hit I and hold control, and we're going to grow it up some. Now obviously that's way too big, so we're going to bring in this edge here, and I'm going to start subdividing this a little bit. It looks like it's going to come down kind of onto this piece at the bottom, and it's going to stick up above it a little bit at the same time. So I actually think we maybe need to make the whole thing a little bit bigger. I have some concerns about this peg breaking in a 3D print. Wait, what's going on here? Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Dang it. I've got to go way back. Beep, 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 beep. I've made a problem. So hopefully I can get all the way back. So when I added that cube, we were in edit mode with the other cube selected. So let's go ahead and rename this cube right here. Let's remove that mirror mod. We're going to rename this as Torso Filler. Boom. And we need to add a new cube while we're in object mode. Let's go ahead and add a cube. And we're going to call this new cube. We'll hit F2 to rename it and call it arm shields. Arm shields. And we're going to give this thing a mirror mod. Same thing we did before. Boom. Mirrored on the x-axis. And then we're going to go back to edit mode, select all, and get it into position once more. Sometimes when you screw up on these little tasks in Blender, it's a good idea just to start on over. And that's what the short was about 2 days ago. So we'll get this thing stuck in there this time. I think the larger peg is going to work, just kind of default size. So we can do that. And we're going to push this face in. And once again, we're going to E to extrude, and then select all these faces, and we'll hit I for inset, but when we hold control we change the function. And we're going to grow this thing up, and I think we still need to make it a little bigger. So let's go ahead and shift this face a little higher and this one a little lower. And it needs to stick out kind of close to the front, like that. Yeah, I think that'll do. And in fact, it looks like some of our details are a little bit wrong. These crenellations, we should have 3 of them here. So we're going to need to shrink this thing down and make those a little more reasonable. We can shrink that one down as well. We're going to end up doing the double crenellation on this thing. So let's push that in. Where are we at? We're at 48 minutes remaining. Not too bad. I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and think about our shape here. We've got 2 little divot things here. This is a single side, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-sided polygon. So we're going to need to make some subdivisions here. And I think the way we're going to do that is clicking on an edge. We're going to hit Control R to put some edge loops on it. And honestly, I'm not too happy with that. So I maybe should have done these as separate parts here, and then extruded out the peg afterwards. But that's fine. And what I think we can do here is it's going to be the best way to do this. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this thing. I'm just going to completely remove this cube in the middle. We're just going to delete that. Yeah. I'm just going to get rid of that. We'll put that back in later. It'll be easier now if we subdivide this thing. Okay. So now when we come back in and do our edge, we can hit Control R and put these loops, and you see they're going to be much better to put across it. So we definitely need the one on top, and then we're going to need several on the front. So we'll, oops, shit, where'd that go? Click here, Control R, there we go. We'll put this edge loop. That'll be the second one, and then we need another one here. Dang it. Keep misclicking. So this is the front face of that little bit right there. Or I guess this is the front face of that, and then this is the little piece that dips in. So now we're gonna need one more right about there is fine. We're gonna add another one right here, which will be the little dip, and then we need one change in the back here, but it doesn't line up perfect. See, we've got this top bit towards the front and then this towards the back. I think we can work with that though. You know, just for good measure, let's go ahead and put another edge loop on there, and then we can start merging things down, I think. So this needs to come down, and then these I think we can maybe merge these and get rid of some of this extra geometry. Let's merge that down here. Get rid of a fair bit of this. Let's go ahead and merge that over, and we'll do the same thing here. Click there, boom, M for merge, click at last. We'll probably get rid of this too, but let's go ahead and get the shape together first. So we're going to take this, we're going to shift it down till it's, let's see, what was that? That's about a fifth of the distance. So let's shift both of these and bring that up. Now this guy, we want this and the bottom one to come forward simultaneous. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right. Now let's get them somewhat similarly sized. There we go. We've got our little thingamabobs here. And then I think this whole thing needs to come down some like that. Now I think we also want to kind of match the angle and the size. So this looks a little big here. So let's go ahead and bring that down just a hair, and then we're going to bring this down as well, and that way we'll get these shapes a little closer in size here. what is next? Alright, so from here, I think what we can do is we can just start merging all of this down. Boom, merge that down. Boom, merge this down. Bam, boom, merge that down too. Bow. Merge this down as well. Boom. Okay. And I see there's some excess geometry here that we really don't necessarily need. We can probably pull this over here, pull this in like that, and then pull this one in it like that. If we end up needing it again later, we can easily get that back together. No, not at center, but at last. Same deal down here. We get inside and grab that. Boom. Merge that to last. Okay, so our shape is, we've got the top defined. I think I kind of want to blade these down, make them a little sharper. So we're going to grab both of these, and we're going to grab all of this. Grab all of that, and we're going to just squish it a little bit. Get a little bit of a profile happening from there down. Yeah, I dig that. Okay, so now we need to work out this angle right here. And I think we're just gonna start moving things down here. We can probably split the difference between these two vertices here. In fact, let's merge those in the center, and we'll do the same thing here too. Merge those in the center. They're still not quite right, so what we'll do is we're going to grab this edge, get this in position. We're going to grab this edge, and we're going to slide it with I guess we could just zip it like that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now I want to get rid of all this geometry. So we're actually going to come in here, bam, 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 get rid of all this. Get rid of all of that. I suppose it might actually be faster to select them like that, and then we'll merge it last. Yeah, same here. Boom, 1, 2, 3, M, merge it last. Okay, so we've got some geometry we really don't need here, so we can probably merge that over as well. Same right here. Bam, bam. Let's go ahead and do that. Ow. And I don't know about what y'all think, but that looks about like we've got the right shape. Now it does look like there's one little tit of crenellation at the bottom here that we may need to put back in. And I think the way to do that is to go ahead and split this one more time down here. Boom, boom. Let's go ahead and add back in a little bit of that geometry that we got rid of with an edge subdivision. Bam. Okay, and now we can slide this boy right here. Zoom, bring that down. And we'll have this nice little piece that can serve as the flat angle. So now we're going to need boom, boom, bam. Let's add one more subdivision here. We're going to subdivide that. And again, we're going to slide this boy. Grab that little line and slide him on in right there. And that should put us in a decent position to should be able to just take this and push it down. Oh wait, no, I need face. Grab the face, push it down like that. It's decent. This maybe needs to get tightened up a little bit, but it's all right to have it a little bit exaggerated compared to the artwork. All right. That looks okay to me. And I think we can probably even start merging down some of this geometry. Maybe like that. We can maybe even merge that all up into this. And bring that down. Maybe this actually goes into that. Ow, like that. Yeah, that's about right. So do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna come in here and this merges into that. Pow, and then this will merge into that. This guy right here and that guy are gonna merge into that one. Perfect. We got some nice mirror geometry. Excellent. Let's come out of X-ray mode. And we can probably shift both of these over a little bit to make these the geometry a little less aggressive on the angles. I don't think it matters in the long run. All right. So from here, I think what we want to do is we want to make a nice peg sticking in there, and then I also want to do these little shapes here. So we probably actually need to move these and snap them to a vertex. So get that nice and lined up here. And what we're gonna do, first things first, we're gonna Control S our progress. We're gonna select this and we are going to, I think we'll do an inset with I first. And then we're gonna subdivide this. Edge subdivision. And then we should be able to shift these shapes kind of how we want them. Actually, we need a double subdivision. Let's give us a nice little double subdivision with 2 cuts. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna manually start pushing around these happy little vertices. I think we need that. We need the angle a little more dramatic here. So we're gonna grab both of them, and then we'll take our scaling tool and push them kind of equidistant like that. Maybe bring them in a little tighter, like so. No, we've got some weird overlaps happening there. That's fine. All right, now this guy needs to come in real close like that. And we still got the magnet on. And we're gonna get these kind of nice and equidistant. And now we're gonna take these boys right here and try to recreate the same shape, but in the reverse. So let's slide this down. That looks about the same. And once again, I've mentioned a few times in the voice chats that it's very much a good enough is good enough approach here. Not going for any kind of perfection. Just gonna pop those into position. And now we've got these nice happy little faces that we can now grab, and I think they look decent. This angle looks a little off for some reason, but they should be lined up, surely. Yeah. Okay, let's grab these faces, bam bam, both of them, and we're going to E for extrude. I'm going to push them in a little bit, and then I'm going to I to inset them like that, and then I'm going to E to extrude and bring them back out. And we're going to get this fun little detail where I've taken a little bit of liberty with the design and carved out this panel line around them, and that looks decent to me. Let's save that. And next we want to I'm gonna do something similar right here. And I think the way we're gonna start this is by shrinking this panel like we did on the front end a little bit. Just make it a little more slight. And then we need to create another edge loop, I think. So we're gonna grab this edge loop. Our geometry is a little too off. That is unfortunate. So what we'll do is we'll select all of these lines that wrap all the way around. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna create a edge subdivision. I don't know how much of this we're gonna need. I think we only need this section right here, to be honest. But let's go on into our X-ray view, and we need, I think we need one more subdivision here. Because we need a little bit coming off of these edges. So we're going to come back in one more time. And what we want to subdivide now is these two lines and those two lines. And then we're going to do a double subdivision. Boom, boom. Two like that. And that's going to go ahead and set us up pretty well to do some shifting. So we're going to grab these and those, and we're going to spread them apart like so. And then we're going to bring these and those in a little bit closer. Nope, I got to turn off the magnet thing. Bring these in a little closer like that. And then I think these even need to come in. Crap. I just want these ones right here. Boom. These guys need to get shrunk a little bit. Bam, like that. Yes, excellent. And what we're going to do is we want all three of these. And I think the way to do this is we're going to hit E to extrude and click. And then we can come in here and shrink the whole thing. Like that. And then also like this. But I want it to be kind of in line back here. So we got to push it in a little bit. I think that's okay. That looks decent. It looks good enough. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. A nice little inset going on. I think that looks okay. And here in about 30 minutes, we have made this piece here. So from here, what we want to do is we're going to make our peg again. So let's go ahead and start hiding stuff. And then we're going to, we can maybe even just inset this piece, I think. We're gonna, let's move these like kind of far forward. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's doing some weird stuff. Shite. Our geometry's getting a little wacky here. I think it's okay. Let's just inset this thing. All right, so we've got six pieces here. So we can turn this into a hex shape, I think. And what we'll do is we'll turn back on our snapping, and then when we move this down, let's snap that to there. And we'll pull this up and snap it to there. And now we can move both of these. Turn off snapping. And try to turn it into a more hex-ish shape. Yeah, that looks decent. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll smooth it over here in a bit as well. So let's grab this, boom, and we're just gonna extrude it out like that. And it should now stick into our CT sides. A nice little connection point. We maybe need to bloat it up a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. If it's a little fragile, we can always improve it later. And now we have these happy little shields on the sides. Now, we do need to go back in and we need to kind of fix the crenellations that we have on the main body. So we actually have like a 1-2, so it should be bump, bump like that. And I can't tell if there's a third, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was a third. So maybe we need to... We can maybe just put a third one in here, and I think it'll be okay. So let's come in here. Yeah, let's just shrink these down. Let's just do that right there. And then we're gonna make these a similar size. Boom, like that. And then we're gonna put one more right in the middle, right there. So let's go ahead and pow, 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 like that, right? And then we're gonna edge that in, subdivide that real nice. And I think we actually need another subdivision to either side of it. So we're gonna grab boom, 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 pow, pow. We're gonna edge subdivide those one more time. And now we have these nice short little panels, and we can just freely grab these things. And it should do our geometry decently. Though it does look like we need to shrink everything down a little bit. So boom, boom, boom. We're just gonna grab all of these boys right here. We're gonna grab our scale tool. And wait, no. Unselect that. I'm gonna shrink it all down just a bit. Just a little bit. And then it looks like it's a little high here, so we're gonna come down just a bit. And then what we wanna do is get these outer lines in line with these other bits here. So we're gonna turn our snapping to edge and turn that on, and then we should be able to scooch this over, and now it'll line up with those others and have that nice aggressive like tooth look. I'm still on the fence about having the ones on the bottom, to be honest, but that's where we're gonna line. And again, the whole point tonight, whatever work we get done, I'm gonna take this stream and I'm gonna cut this footage down. It's gonna be tomorrow's short. So if you don't want to sit through a whole thing, if you've caught this, keep an eye out for the shorts where we're gonna do high-speed playthroughs of each hour's worth of work. But that's looking decent to me. Now I think we need to kind of create this thing right here, and it looks like we have at least four vents. And I think it's going to be better to have 5 vents. So we basically want to kind of recreate this shape here. And I think we can do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab this, and we're going to hit I to inset just a little bit. We're going to E to, oops, shite. I need to turn off snapping. E to extrude. All right, and then we're going to I'm gonna eye to inset again. Dog, hello, Mr. Grimm the Project. Hope you're doing well. It is a sleepless night for me. The insomnia is destroying me. What are these stream hours? I am under an immense amount of stress and just am not sleeping well. I've got so much work to do, and I'm eternally so far behind, trying to get caught up, just trying to bail myself out of this really bad situation, unfortunately. I've got an outrageous amount of mechs that need to get done, in addition to the ones that, to make money. Of course, you know that's, so from here, we need, that's 3. And I think with that we can do 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more subdivision. We get 4 in there now. Okay, so from here, we need to just start getting rid of some, some geometry here. Ooh, and I think this whole thing is sticking out a little too far, to be honest. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and just grab all of these and push those in a little bit. Those need to go deeper in. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's come back in here. We're gonna go back to vertex mode, and we're gonna just start getting rid of some of these. The batch paint mechs
At Grimm Project donated a $5 super chat. The batch paint mechs seem to keep selling well, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, it's the way they have to go, unfortunately. And I think that it's been rough. I owe out so many models at this point. So I really don't want Country Fried Minis to become this kind of afterthought at this point. But we're really kind of headed there. While we focus more on the business side of things. Just staying afloat though has been wild. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's delete that. Let's go ahead and delete those faces, and we're going to delete these faces, and we're going to delete these faces, and we're going to delete those faces. On the plus side, Mr. Grimm, I have a whole bunch of Vine mechs that are going to be coming out real soon, so I'm looking forward to working on those. And then maybe even some nice, delicious green frog camo Cretan boys in a big batch, all set to get done. I'd love to stream it all. I'm just realistically, my man, I'm looking at probably like full-time work 7 days a week, painting mechs non-stop for the next 8 years probably. Not that that's the workload, but like as far as making money, enough money to stay alive and afloat in this economy. Sometimes you got to catch stuff up and take a breath for the betterment of the channel. I don't get to breathe, sir. I don't foresee getting to breathe for a long time at this point, unfortunately. But what I'm gonna do is my damnedest to keep some content coming out. We got the big Black Knight by the end of the month for sure. I was hoping to get out a Easter video, but I'm not gonna have the time. but I do want to get caught up and done with all the mechs that I owe people. All right, so we're gonna extrude this one more time, and now we got these happy little vents. And I don't like that I've ended up with the same vents front and back. So we might change these up a little bit on the back end, I think. What if we take and get rid of these faces right here? Boom. Get rid of those faces. Yeah, get rid of those faces, and we're gonna do the same thing here, and then we'll make like a double square nozzle back here. Boom, 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 like that. Let's add this, and then we can boom, 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 add that, and pop this in, and do the same right here. Bam, 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 bam. Now this model will be up on Cults when it's done. I don't know when we're gonna get there, but we will. Okay, so here we need to grab all these faces right here. Bam, bam, and we're gonna delete only faces, and then we're gonna get rid of these things here as well. Boom, bam. Delete these edges, and let's grab. I think we can get rid of this extra geometry here too. So let's merge these away. Let's merge all that in. Boom. Same here. Bam. We're gonna merge this one down and merge this one. Boom, and then we can merge these up as well. Oh yeah, I love cleaning up the geometry. Before I end the stream, I can show you guys what I'm also working on for another commissive project. I am sculpting on the copper security mech, and so far it's coming out all right. Merge these down, get rid of those. Boom. We'll do the same on the bottom. Meow. Where are we sitting at? 16 minutes. Not showing a lot of progress, honestly, for what we're doing at this point, which sucks a little bit, but that's okay. This is just gonna, honestly, this is all for a little bit of progress and for a nice 1 minute short tomorrow evening. Tomorrow at, I say evening, but 3 a.m. I've been dropping them. Boom, boom. All right, let's just about there with these. Bow. I think we want like a nice, okay. Want like a nice square-ish like booster hole, I think. Let's put a face here, and then we're gonna put another face here. Boom, bam. Okay, now we're gonna grab both of these, and we're gonna inset. And I think we want to edge rail those. There we go, maybe? Not really sure what. Let's just get this offset looking okay. We're gonna manually resize these back up, I think. Right here. Get those a little more squarish. There we go. Okay, so now we have this little gap. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these. We're gonna extrude these out again. Then we're gonna inset one more time. And do bam, bam. Yeah, we do want to extrude that out, and then we're gonna have to manually do this. I think this is happening because we're shrinking to the center there, so we're gonna have to manually do some of this stuff right here. These boys right here need to come in and have us square it up a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to extrude that again as well. And then really don't know exactly what to do here. We could do like if we grab like we can hit I to bring this in, inset, and then hold control and push it in, and then inset, set that there, and then I to inset it one more time and push it in again, and then do it one more step, and then we'll create these kind of like these slope ramps that go inwards with a slightly adjusting angle. Be a nice, like, you know, they look like some kind of exhaust ports or whatever. Okay, so where are we sitting at now? We've got 11 minutes left in today's session, and we have got our side torsos and these little arm bits done. And I mean, I think that's done, honestly. They don't need anything else. We maybe need to shrink this guy right here a little bit. Oh yeah, we definitely need to shrink this down. Let's get this in line with some snapping. Chow. We're gonna bring this in and have it line up with that, and the same right here. Bring this in and snap it to that. Dude, it's looking pretty great so far. Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing: there's some whispers in some of the BattleTech sculptor communities. There's definitely some concern that there's some concern that Catalyst will have to crack down on people for doing sculpts in the long run, and that is really unfortunate and not something I hope we don't get there. I hope Catalyst remains kind of loosey-goosey about the IP as they have been. Now, when that day comes, which invariably it will have to, I'm intent to have my own sculpted designs that look like the artwork, and I will seek to put those forward through a loophole of painted models, even if I can't sell the designs. This one's kind of a passion project for me, an experiment to kind of learn and grow as I'm working on this stuff. I want this FLE14. I'd never run it, but it's just such a fabulous little piece of artwork. So to have it would be really sick. Okay, let's drop a save state. What can we do in 9 minutes? I think we can maybe start on this here. We can maybe start on this little bit. And the thing is, it's got this weird, like, it's got an extra panel line in there. And I'm wondering if we can make that happen. We come in here and do... if we just grab all of these on both sides, can we just inset that? Not really. It doesn't really want to do the thing. Yeah, it really doesn't want to. I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. We can probably do that as an afterthought. But you know, it's right there at the hip joint too, so I don't know if it's gonna work. This, Mr. Grimm, this is kind of a heads up towards, as I work through this, I'm going to pick up the knowledge to do that Marauder we had talked about in the past. I don't think we need these anymore. Let's go ahead and get rid of LT, RT. What is this cylinder? This is going to be the future medium laser, so we can hold on to that. Yeah, we're going to call this M laser. And then we have another cylinder here, which is, we're going to call this torso rod. Okay, who's next? This cube. This is going to be called CT to pelvis connection. Yeah, I agree. I really love the Marauder 2 artwork. And then this will be called pelvis. Pow. We can hide this for now. We can probably 7 minutes left. Let's get the hips going. I just hate every version I could find is mech word with the design. Yeah, that's about right. It doesn't help that we've been playing a bunch of MechWarrior online in the community either. Okay, so this guy right here, we need to get this thing working. Kind of hate how in general MechWarrior style is taking over. Yeah, it's there's a little bit of laziness there for sure. The whole PGI having everything. Ooh, I think everything has to get moved down together here. Everything has to get moved down together. She Salvage put out a Vindicator. I saw the like packs that they've put out. Yeah. All right, let's hide this and this and this, and we're just gonna worry about the hips right now. Pretty neat looking. I'll have to take a peek. Let's turn off snapping. Get these legs in about the right position. Like so-ish. Yeah, that looks decent. And now we're gonna come in here and where's our boy? Where's our boy? There we go. Redeem pop kit. Yes. Let's do this, and what we're gonna do now is 1, 2, 3. I need to edge. We're gonna subdivide this. And then we're going to grab these vertices, pow, and we're going to slide those kind of down here. And we're going to grab these faces here. And we need to let's see, how do I do this? I think we extrude. No, we do not extrude. We hit I, and then we inflate it a little bit. Like that. Okay, and then we're going to come back in here, and we're going to grab those, and we're going to edge, we're going to subdivide those, and then, boom, grab all these vertices, and we're going to slide those up, and now we want to grab all of this, I think, and kind of shrink it a little bit like that, and then push it down. Okay, and now this thing is like a dome shape still, so we want to grab all of these, and then we're going to expand them a little bit. Pow, like that. And then we should have some shape that's starting to kind of approximate that. And it looks like we got to shrink the whole thing by a little bit, like that. Not quite right, because we need this. I think we maybe need this ring. This ring around here needs to be shrunk in a little bit. Boom. So we're going to hold control and we're going to go around the whole thing and we're going to shrink that down a little bit like that. I think that looks okay. Alright, so now we're going to grab this whole thing and we're going to push it in a little bit, make sure it fits inside. I think it's a little janky yet, so we're gonna have to shift it till it kind of fits. It maybe's gotta get even smaller, like that. You know, we could just expand this whole ring out. Yeah, that's actually what we're gonna do. We're gonna just come in here. Let's get rid of all this. Boom. All those are gone. Pow, out of here. And then we're gonna take all of these and loop this around like so. Boom. Get out of here. We don't need it. And then we will take all of these. Zip that back around. We're gonna double F to make a face. We're gonna E to extrude. Now I think we've got our shape kind of made up. Now, we do have these like little insetty bits here. And I'm wondering what's going to be the best way to do those. I think what we have to do is look at our model face on again. Boom, let's grab this. We want all these edges right here, and we're going to subdivide one more time. Like so. Grab all of this, pow, like that, and then we're going to shift V and slide those here. And I think we should be able to create some insets. Like so. So let's just start with this one. We're going to grab every other one. Hopefully we have an odd number. We do. Perfect. Excellent. So what we're going to do here is we're going to inset everything like that. We're going to press E to do an extrusion, and we're just going to click, and then we're going to grab this and we're going to shrink them inwards. Oh, look at there. We got our nice little happy little detail there. Fuck yes, that looks great. We probably need a nice little circular bit here, but that's 1 hour's worth of work, and I am feeling tired enough that I can probably lay down. So let's go ahead and zoom back out and see what we've done tonight. Object mode. We can close our 1 hour timer. That's 1 hour. We're in. So tonight we have built our happy little plate here that matches the artwork right here. We have made our intake vents, and we've changed our exhaust vents to look more exhausty. We have put in our hips, and our hips will go into jump jets next time. We've got to remove these. But it's coming along. So this is hour 6 total of work on this thing, and at the end of this, what we'll have is a FLE14. Hopefully, we'll get it in the Ragic database. It'll definitely get put up on the Country Fried Minis Patreon for people to download, and I'll do what I can to get a few poses going too. But we're learning, we're growing, we're making stuff. And I think in the long run, we're probably going to shift the focus of some of the stuff that we're doing here on the channel towards towards this 3D modeling angle. I love the idea of sculpting up a thing, putting it out there for people to download, and then also doing a little bit of content about it. Basically, I want to have value from this brand, even if we're not putting out like regular content, especially in that people are providing financial support. I mean, we're putting out a video every 3 to 4 months, and that's, to me, that's just not enough. That said, I am going to strive to get out shorts as close to daily as I can manage. So we should get a little something drip fed, and as sanity starts to return and as I get caught up with the orders, expect some more streams. And who knows, stuff like this too. If I have insomnia, I'll pop on here. But anyhow, without further ado, it is 4:30 in the morning, and I think I'm tired enough to lay down and sleep through the insomnia. So thank you guys for stopping through. If you caught this VOD after the fact, let me know in the comments down below if you watched it, if you enjoyed it. There's a link to the Country Fried Minis Discord down below if you want to join up, if you want to come hang out and talk. We do daily voice chats and nonsense. You might even could get in on a Battletech game. But yeah, there we go. And I'm going to take this footage tomorrow and put out the next short. If you want to see the last session, today's short is out right now. It's about a minute long. Anyhow, that's what I got, y'all. Have a fantastic day, morning, night, wherever you're at. And I will catch you sometime soon. I think we're doing another sculpting stream this Saturday. I may have some guests to step in where we'll chat and sculpt some shit up. Anyhow, lots of love. Have a good one. Now, if I could find the stream shutting down button, I'd click it. This has been a special Insomniac session right here on Country Fried Minis. I hope you guys have had fun. I hope you've had some time to learn some stuff. Something like that. I don't know. Whatever that guy says. This stream has been brought to you by mental illness. Take care of yourselves. Alrighty, I'm pressing the button.